So, hey guys, happy Tuesday, you guys, and happy month end. I'm so excited. I love our team Zooms every single Tuesday, and tonight we have such a special guest and one of my friends, Jocelyn Yates, which has literally been one of my biggest fans of all times when I first started, and I just love you to pieces, Jocelyn. So I'm so excited for you to be on our Zoom and to pour into our team. I know you've been on our Zooms before, and you just have so many good nuggets. I feel like Jocelyn is just so very consistent with her business and very open to sharing what she's doing. And, just somebody who when I first started this business, I would go to Jocelyn's YouTubes. And I just remember I was in such awe of how just amazing, her videos were and how duplicatable it was. So I would really, since you guys know my story, I never had an upline. So Jocelyn was one of those leaders, those top leaders who I would follow in this business, and she would have incredible content that I felt was very duplicatable and still is. And so I'm going to ask her so many questions that you guys have asked me to ask her, and I'm just excited for her to pour into you guys. So if you guys have any questions, you guys put in the chat and I'll try to answer as she's kind of speaking. But Jocelyn, I'm just going to let you kind of take over and let you go, and I'll ask you questions along the way. But first, if you can just let everyone know just a little bit about you and your story, and just how amazing you are.
Yes, of course. So hopefully you can't hear YouTube in the background. I have my daughter Taylin in here. I might have to turn that down. But that's like, I'm one of those moms that I will give her YouTube just so she can be distracted for a couple minutes. It's like the one thing that'll suck her in. So I found this business when I was 19 years old. Yeah, that is so loud. Hold on. Okay, now I can hear myself think. I'm sorry. So I found this business when I was just 19 years old. I actually found this business at a bridal expo, which is so crazy just because like 2013, people didn't work this business on social media. Like the way you worked it was literally like getting in front of people face to face, doing parties. And so it's just so funny because I have always just been like a homebody personality, reserved, shy. And so I never thought somebody like me could be successful at this, but I ended up getting started because I had tried the products and saw that they worked. And just in my first month and a half, from doing a party, talking to people that I knew in person, and then talking to a couple people through Facebook about the products, I was able to sign up quite a few customers, a couple retail customers, and sell a bunch of sample cash. And so just in my first month and a half from that alone, I was able to make about $800. And that's when I knew like I had my hand on something. But I was also a college student. I really didn't have a big, huge, strong reason as to why I got started in the business. And so gradually, like that summer, I hardly did anything with the business at all. And my $800 that I had made, and I felt like I was sitting pretty, gradually dropped clear down to like $50. And so one day my mom talks to me and she's like, "Why are you still doing that business? You're not making any money." And I knew at that point, like I had to prove her wrong. And I decided then and there that I was going to figure this out. And so I was going to school full time. I was working as a nanny full time. I had a part-time photography business. I had just barely met my husband and we were dating at the time. And so I was super busy, and I knew that if I was going to be successful with this, I still had to be able to, find the time in the afternoons, because back then it was parties, it was expos. And then I also knew I had to attend trainings, because you guys are going to hear this so often. When you show up, you go up. And I remember somebody saying that, and I knew that there had to be something that I showed up to that eventually it would click for me. And that's what ended up happening. As the one thing I think that really made the biggest difference for me was I showed up to a conference call. a conference call, you guys. You don't have to go into a big in-person event to like have that aha moment that completely changes the trajectory of your business. So anytime you're showing up to a Zoom or a summer camp or watching a YouTube video or a recording, that can be the something that you show up to that still changes everything. It's the showing up that matters. And so I ended up showing up to a conference call where I learned how to work the business on Instagram. And that was back when Instagram was brand new. Like, it was unheard of to do this business on there. And I just started running. And so it took me probably about 2 months to actually build up an Instagram account from scratch to be able to like actually start signing customers from. But once I did, I finally started promoting. So it took me 9 months to promote to executive, 11 months to Ruby, 1 year to Diamond. I think it was like 15 or 16 months to double Diamond, and then 23 months triple diamond, and then 2 years presidential. So I actually went from triple to presidential in 1 month. And then it took me another year after that to hit ambassador. So I still hit ambassador in 3 years, and then I hit the Millionaires Club in 4.5 years. And it's so crazy because like I met my husband through this business. He wasn't supportive at first. A couple of things that helped get him supportive was having a comma in my paycheck, getting him to use the product so that he could see that they worked himself, getting him to an event so that he could catch the vision of the company, and doing the 5 love language test with him, making sure I knew to make sure that he always still felt loved, because before, like, I wasn't. So, but those are the things that really made him supportive. And and it's just been so cool because we've gone through the stages of like being with the broke college student to paying for our wedding with this business, to being newlyweds, to traveling, hit the Millionaires Club when we were on a diamond retreat in Mexico. And then the month after that, we started trying for our first little girl, Taylor. And so then I had to learn how to work the business as a mom with like juggling the kids around and the scheduling. And because of this business, like my husband was able to find his passion for real estate, because we've bought and sold 3 homes now. And we're in our 3rd house that we've built. And so he ended up getting his license, and now he sells a ton of houses. And so I'm basically like home by myself all day. So now I get to work this business with kids, like by myself. And then I'm able to, you know, show people that it still can be done, even if you don't have that extra help at home.
Gosh, I love that so much. And we signed up, Jocelyn signed up before I did, but I just remember watching her as she went through I literally just like watched all of her posts, like every single minute, like she was like my top person to follow. And so I saw all of her life transitions, and she was still so consistent with her business, still always a top income, earner, and just rocking her business no matter what kind of transition she was going through in her life. I love that. Just a couple of things you said, like, first of all, you fueled that doubt that doubt that your mom had, and you fueled that to have success. And I love that you said that, because I think that there are so many people who come in. I think all of us probably come in, and we have that, either a friend or a spouse or somebody who is just nagging on what we're doing. They're doubting what we're doing. And so I love that you said, like, you know what, this can either like hold me back and I just don't do it, or it can fuel me to really prove wrong. And so I love that you did that. The other thing that you said is to show up. And we preach out on our team all the time. When you show up, you go up. And it can be just the Zoom, a Zoom that just changes everything for you. Maybe it's Jocelyn's story and you're like, I can relate so much, and it changes your entire business, your entire mindset. Maybe it's, a call or, a live that you're watching. Like, I always become a student of the business, you guys, because really, like, and I can say, and Jocelyn, like, we're in, a focus group in our ambassador group, like, we're asking questions all the time. She just asked a question in there, today, like, we are always being students of the business, no matter how high we get up or how far we go. We're always asking questions. And so, I think, when you guys do that, when you have that mindset that you're always learning, like, you're always going to show up, you're going to be hungry for more. And then the support, I think that it's so amazing. Like, if we have a spouse who, and my husband was the same way, always supportive. But once that comma went in there, then he's like, okay, what are we doing? Like, what are you doing? So I love that. And just making sure that we are nurturing all, everyone in our life so that they don't feel that everything's going for our business. But so I just love that, Jocelyn. So amazing. Okay, so I just have some questions for you. I actually have a whole list of questions for you. So we'll just see what we can get through. But I know that we just, brought on so many newbies, right? We brought in so many newbies to our team, on your team. And so I would love to just kind of pick your brain about how you help newbies feel comfortable with posting. How do you help them feel comfortable about posting? What do you recommend them to post? How do you get them to feel comfortable about telling their story when they just signed up?
Yeah, so the biggest thing for me, and I actually have been sending this to a lot of my new distributors, is I do it either one of two ways, just depending on like whether they believe they're going to have any support system or not. Like if they're really hesitant, I'll have them do a really generic post that just says like, you guys, I'm so excited, but I'm also really nervous. I'm starting a brand new business to hopefully bless my family's life and make a little extra income. And they're pretty much sharing their heart like on why they decided to start and just that they're nervous and they're looking for support. And it's been so fun because literally every new distributor that I've had post something like this, all they get is just an outpouring of love with like tons of different people commenting saying, we wish you the best of luck, we hope it's going to go well for you, happy for you, excited for you, etc. And so I think that really has like really boosted their ego as far as like when you first get started. And then the other thing is if they feel like they're just like, yeah, like let's go, like I want to make some money and they're just ready to go at it, then I just immediately have them start posting about weight loss because we do have a ton of incredible products, but weight loss is so generic that, I mean, just as an example, 76% of America is overweight. Like people are looking for ways to get in better shape or to lose weight. And so it's a really easy way to just start getting people interested. So that's what I usually have them do. And then if they, for whatever reason, don't have any traction from doing one or two different posts, whether it's just a generic weight loss or something triggered towards coffee or the Simplified X, then that's when I'll have them do a giveaway host a post that our team's doing. But I think the biggest thing, I wanted to expand a little bit more on it, was if you've ever seen the kids movie Sing, I don't remember if it's still on Netflix or not, but it's like the animals when they're like doing the talent show. And in there is this elephant named Nina. You can look it up on YouTube if you want to see this part in the movie, but she is absolutely terrified to sing in front of people, like petrified. And the advice that was given her is that if you want to overcome that fear, the best way to overcome it is to just start singing. And that's the same thing with anything that you do in this business. If you're afraid to post, if you're afraid to do host to post, if you're afraid to message, the easiest way to start overcoming it and for it to get easier is to just start. And so that's usually just how I advise them.
I love that so much. And so, so now you got them started on their first like intro post, or their welcome to, their business post. And then you give them like a generic, weight loss. So what about like the next day? Are you still feeding, your newbies post for a couple days, or, how do you kind of then go and transition them to start really posting on their own, and so that they know like what to post, when to post, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so basically what I do, and I'm sure you have something super similar set up in your team page, but like our team page, my day one video that I have them do literally just has them go over like, let's get you an e-suite, fill out your tax form, set up your auto shipment. And then day two is this is how you sign customers. Day three is this is how you sign distributors. But then I also included in there, we have a thread of post ideas. So I'm immediately making sure that they know the resources on how to find those. And then I just immediately started advising them, like, you should be posting every single day. And so that's kind of what I'll do. And then you can kind of check back up on them after a couple days, go to their page, see if they've been posting, and then just say, hey, one of the biggest ways that we are able to sign up customers is by posting. So I wanted to just double check with you. Have you been able to see how to find the post ideas? Can I help you? Do you need a post idea? And then that's something that I've just been doing. And like, I mean, just especially now, because I have signed a ton of new distributors myself this month. So one thing that I've just been doing just as an extra thing is any of my new distributors, after they've been in for a little bit, I'm sending them an email that says, hey, here's 3 different ways to sign customers. Here's 3 different post ideas, so that they have that in front of their fingertips rather than having to go search for it as well. But then I also still gave them the link so that they could then go find it.
Oh, I love that. That's so good. So you guys, just like how we have on our team, it's when we have somebody sign up, like we're constantly helping them figure it out and learn the business and really just holding, their hand. And so I love that. Just duplicatable systems that you teach on your team. Okay, so for our newbies, or actually this is good for anybody, but how do you overcome like fear and objections? Because I feel like this is a really hard thing when we enter into a business that's completely, just out of our comfort zone. It's really easy to be fearful about things or having tons of, objections thrown at us. So how do you overcome that? And then what do you teach your team when they come to you for those things?
Yeah, so, it's been so fun because the summer camps that we've done, the past couple, have actually talked about this, and I've been able to be on a panel specifically on overcoming objections. And so one of the biggest things is usually the objections that you get the most often are the ones that you subconsciously are holding yourself back over. So as an example, if you keep getting caught up on people saying, is this a scam? Then there's some part of you deep down that thinks this is a scam, whether you want to admit that or not. And so how do you overcome that yourself? You need to start doing research on the company and seeing the credibility of this. So just as an example, usually the answer that I give people as far as that one goes is I wouldn't stand behind a scam. Our company's actually been featured in Forbes, in Success Magazine, but an Inc. 500 company. Is Christian-based, and you can actually see a really cool documentary and learn more about the heart of our company on my website. Here's the link. Click on the About section, and you can learn more about the company. And so that's literally what I have them do if they ask me that, because once they get to know the heart of the company, they will 100% stand behind what this business is. As far as other ones, like if you're like, I just don't know if anyone, like everybody says they don't have the money, it's because you subconsciously, like in the back of your mind, are thinking that nobody can afford this. And so you're just going to get more and more of those people that think that. And so what that then comes down to is, do you see the value of them spending the $99, or do you feel like they're just wasting it? Because if you can truly see the value and see that they are not just wasting their $99, but they are investing into themselves and going to be able to make so much more than that, then the money's not going to be an issue. And so usually when I'm doing that, like when I'm talking to them, then I'm like, I totally understand. I actually had to save up myself to get started, but I also knew that I was always going to be stuck and broke unless I brought in an additional stream of income. So I knew I had to find a way to get started, or I was never going to have any extra money. And what that also does is it plants that seed in their mind that if they don't do something different, they're always going to be struggling. But as far as like a lot of these go, because sometimes you just get these random ones, I think the biggest thing, and I know Amanda's awesome, and she probably has a thread of objections in the team page that you guys can just go through. And I know I have that same thing in ours, in our distributor script. But it really just comes down to, using the very, very simple, addressing whatever issue it is they have with what I like to call the feel, felt, found. And so basically how that goes is you would just say, I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way, but what I found was this. And it can work with anything. So if they said, I really want to do this business, but I feel like I just don't have the time. I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way. And then I can tell them a little of my story. I was going to school full time. I was working full time. I had a part-time photography business. I was dating. I was so busy. But what I found was that if you just have 20 to 30 minutes a couple times a day, you can absolutely be successful with this business. And even especially now, like I'm so busy with kids, but all you need is 20 to 30 minutes a couple times a day. Or if you have a difficult child that doesn't take longer than 30-minute naps, then you just have to stay up a little later or get up a little earlier. So I think that's the biggest thing, is if you can just acknowledge the feelings that they have, that usually there's some sort of a fear that's holding them back, and then get rid of that elephant in the room by overcoming it or talking about how you overcame that, then it's not going to be an objection for them anymore. Or even another silly one that my team gets all the time that I just talked to them about today was, do you ever get people that just say, well, what's the catch? There is no catch. That's the answer. Just say there is no catch. Or, oh, that sounds too good to be true. You know what I say to that one? I say, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I said when I got started too. And then it's just a joke. It's not like a big deal anymore. So I think it's just being proactive about them and just approaching them head on, but then acknowledging, you know, that it's something that they will overcome. I think that's the biggest thing, is you can either let it be what stops them from signing, or you can know that as soon as they overcome that, that they will sign.
I love that so much. I love the Phil felt found. That is so good. Okay, so kind of walk us through, because you are a busy mom of 2 little ones and, you know, obviously very successful with this business. So what does your day look like? Like, you know, do you have a set schedule? Is it different every day? Can you kind of walk us through like your day and what like the tasks are that you do each day?
Yes, I actually love this question. And it's because when I first became a mom, I honestly have never really had mom guilt, because I'm home with them all the time. Like, I don't have that guilt. But what I was having business owner guilt. Like, I was feeling so guilty when I wasn't feeling like I was getting enough work done. And so I, dove into all of the personal development, and, was listening to advice from Amanda, listening to advice from Kelly Brown. I know Alyssa Billieu or Wilbur, or whatever her last name is, like all of these other people. And what they were doing was they had a set schedule where they were getting up early, doing the miracle morning or the power of 5 a.m. or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's it. Like, if I want to be successful and have a good schedule and figure out this mom stuff, I have to get up early. You guys, I'm not a morning person. And because of that fact, and because literally, I mean, my first, she turned 2 in June. And so I've just been a nursing mom pretty much for the last 2-ish years. And they don't sleep through the night. So I was so exhausted that I physically could not get up early, because it was burning me out and I didn't have enough energy to get me through the day. And so I let that hinder me for so long. And I thought, I can't get up early, so it's going to hinder my success, and I'm never going to get to where I want to be because I can't figure out my schedule. And so it wasn't until, digging a little bit deeper, and I was talking with Kelly Brown, and she was like, Jocelyn, you don't have to have a schedule, just have a routine. And that changed everything for me. So instead of feeling like I had to get up at 5 or 6 or whatever, I get up when I'm not tired, and I just do the same routine every single day. And my kids actually do a lot better having the same routine as well. They sleep better, and it's been easier for me, even with time with my husband. So now I wake up when I'm not tired anymore. Sometimes it's 7, sometimes 6:30, sometimes 9:30. I don't know. It just depends on how good my baby slept through the night. And so I just get up when I'm not tired, and depending on how early it is, I'll sit in bed and I'll just get some work done. I'll send out some messages. I'll put something in my story. I'll throw a post up. I'll get some host-to post going. I'll just do whatever I can that's just right there from my bed. And then I'll get up and I'll go drink my celery. And usually during that 30-minute wait period before you can eat or drink anything else, I'm like, well, I might as well work out and just get it done with now. So that I'm able to exercise. Typically when I'm exercising, that's when I love to listen to personal development and listen to affirmations, things like that. And then I also even have like a list of attributes that I want to become myself, and also what I want my team to be. And so I read those out loud every single day, either right before or right after I brush my teeth. So that's another thing that I do. And so literally my morning, sometimes it's just a little bit of work on my phone, but then it's me time. Like, it's my time to, work on my health, get my mindset right, my mind health done, my body health, any spiritual health. If I want to do spiritual development, I'm doing that in the morning. And then I'm able to enjoy breakfast with the family, get my kids ready for the day, get myself ready for the day. I'll listen to personal development while I still do that. Or I'll just go play with the kids or whatever it is. So, and then usually it's the late morning is when I really start to focus on like, okay, let me see if I can get a TikTok up to grow my business there. Let me see if I can add something else to my story. Let's send messages, because at the end of the day, like the most important thing that you can do if you are struggling with getting enough stuff done through the day is focus on the conversations that you're having, because at the end of the day, those are the most important things. So, and it's something I really try to show my team is like, you might not see somebody super active on social media as far as posting goes, but they might have gotten 20 hosts to post up that day because they were having conversations, or they might have signed up 2 customers from messaging asking for product models. And so that's usually where I've been focusing the most of my time, is just getting in people's inboxes and giving them the information that they're asking for, because I know that and is going to be what benefits my paycheck the most. So I'm doing that, and then at the same time, of course, I'm answering messages from my team. Lately, I've been trying to go live every single day. Just a little quick tip. It's something I've just been implementing recently. And then my favorite time of day, of course, is nap time. They don't always line up, but when they do, that's like my very favorite time of the day. So that's usually when I try to get done the most important thing. And sometimes it's different. Like sometimes it literally is stuff that I just have to get done that doesn't have to do with my business. Other times it's host to post. Other times it's posting and messaging people. It just depends. Other times it's coaching calls. So but if you know, like you only have like a limited amount of time where it's 100% to yourself, if you have kids, then that's what you want to do. That's the most important thing that you need to get done that day. And then usually the later afternoons are tricky because the kids are up and they're usually a little bit more demanding before dinner, and then I have to make dinner. My husband comes home somewhere around that time, so then we're having dinner, and then we have to get the kids ready for bed. Get ourselves ready for bed, and then that's when I spend, a good sometimes 2 to 3 hours of quality time with my husband once the kids are in bed. And so the cool thing though is sometimes, like, if we both have our love tanks filled up and we both feel loved and appreciated, then I can just spend those extra 2 to 3 hours before I go to bed getting work done. But it just depends on, what I feel like is the most important at the time. So that's kind of what my routine has been. And then it's also been making sure, if I've learned anything from Christy Christensen, she's one of my best friends in this business right now. She's number 3. And the biggest thing I always learn from her, because she's a busy mom of 4, and anytime I've been at her house, I've always just noticed that she utilizes the little nooks and cranny of time that she has. Even the 5 minutes of sitting on the couch before you have to go do something, she's always messaging people back. She's reaching out to her team. She's giving people shout outs in the team page, letting them know how awesome they're doing. And so, but just seeing how she just mixes it in with whatever she has going on with her family that day really just inspired me and showed me, like, I can still, be the mom that I want to be and play blocks with my little girl or teach her the ABCs or whatever. And then I can send out a couple messages and be productive for my business. And so I think at the end of the day, if you have your priorities set and you are asking yourself, like, is what I'm doing right now going to get me closer to what I want for my family and want for my life, then that's going to be what drives you. Because I know sometimes, like, if I get sucked into TikTok or I get sucked into binge watching a show or playing, I don't even know, sometimes I get sucked into like Vampirina or whatever Taylan's watching. And then I just have to remind myself, like, I don't need to watch this. Like, it's not my thing. So let me just get some work done. And it's just being okay with holding yourself accountable and giving yourself that check. I think that's been the biggest thing for me.
Gosh, I love that so, so much. And that is a good cartoon. So I love it. You guys hear, she's like literally just, you can have it all. You know, if you got anything from that, it is that you really can have it all. It just really is knowing what your priorities are. So those of you guys who are working full time, because I know a lot of you guys are, I started this business when I worked full time as well. So you can take the same thing and just apply it to your schedule. So maybe it is that you have to wake up a little bit earlier. Maybe it is that instead of you just sitting, you know, there eating your lunch, that you are messaging people when you're in your lunch, or when you have a 15-minute break, or listening to self-development on your way to work. When you get home from work, maybe it's you eat dinner, spend time with your family, and then maybe it's you stay up a little bit later just to make sure that you're getting your work done. But the whole thing is that, you know, Jocelyn said that, you know, having that routine, you know, having the routine, she might start her days different, just like we might have different days, or we're on vacation, or now school's starting for our little ones, homeschool, you know, the virtual school. So our schedules might look a little different every single day, but it's the routine and it's the tasks that she's doing every single day that are the same. So messaging and posting. And I loved what she said, create new conversations, you know, having those conversations. And that's the key. If we can create new conversations every single day and put new potentials on our list every single day, we know that we worked our business, right? We know that we talk to new people and have new potentials. So we know that we worked our business that day. So I love that so much. And I think that all of us can take, you know, even though Jocelyn's life she has 2 little ones, maybe you guys have 2 older kids, or 4 little ones, or whatever it is, you know, it is the working the business in the nooks and crannies of the day is truly what, you know, we can do. And Christy Christensen, 4, you know, kiddos, and she's doing it. If she can do it, being a top 3 income earner, you know, then we know that we can all do it too. But what Jocelyn said, it's what's a priority to us? You know, what is that priority? So, okay, so let's see, what other questions do I have? Okay, so for your messaging, for like host to post, you know, how often are you like messaging people every day for host to post? Are you getting a lot of your host to post from posts that you do? How are you getting your host to post out each day?
Yeah, so mine lately have all just been from me posting about the giveaway that our team does. And then obviously, like, I think the biggest thing is once I have somebody that's posted about the products or posted about the business, I will go back and I'll ask them like later down the road, once I feel like, man, like I don't have any more people to talk to about hosting a post, I will ask them like, hey, would you be willing to post about the giveaway for me? And so they've already posted once in the month, but I know they'll get different people that'll then post for me. And so I do that. And then I'll just post about the giveaway again, but in a different way. I think that's the biggest thing is like, if one thing doesn't take off, then try again the next day. Because if you're consistent with that, then you should be able to get people posting for you every single day. And then I know if you follow the rule of getting at least 2 people to post about your giveaway every single day, then you'll never run out also.
Mm-hmm. I love that so much. Okay, so let's see, what other questions do I have? So what is like your best, because I know that you are a busy mom and so you are doing stuff like here and there. So how does like your organization and your follow-up system look like?
I am the worst person to ask this right now. Like my life
I
has
think
just
it's
been
good.
so, like it's been so jumbled and just crazy. Like I probably have like at least 400 unread messages right now. Like,
Oh my
but
gosh.
it's because I'm having so many conversations with people and they're messaging me back that I just can't get to them all fast enough. But usually like when my inbox is not already filled up, it's mostly filled up from TikTok, by the way, but when it's not, then I'm always writing down my potential's name. I'm writing down their Instagram, whatever it is, I'm writing down their Facebook. And then anytime we have any sort of promotion, or I'm just like, you know what, I haven't signed a customer or distributor today, I will just sit and go through and do my follow-ups. And so usually when I do follow-ups, you know, I think the biggest thing is whatever system you want to use, you have to write them down, because if you don't, that's when they fall through the cracks. And even sometimes, like even if I do write them down, I just forget to follow up with them. So sometimes it's just going back through your messenger and going back through your messages and seeing, okay, did I respond to everybody? Because sometimes we think we did, we thought about what to say, but we didn't actually say it. At least I know I do that. So I will just, at least once a week, I'll go back through all of my messages from the last month, make sure I followed up with all of the hot potentials, that maybe said, how do I order? And then I never got back to them, or they never got back or ordered or whatever. And I think doing that plus writing them down makes a huge difference. The biggest thing is if you don't write them down, that's when they definitely fall through the cracks. So I do that. And then like the follow-ups that I use, I'm so super simple, to the point. Like right now, the one I've been using for the business is I'm like, hey, I'm so excited. I just found out you can get started for only $49 until Wednesday night. I'm so excited to partner with you and help you make some extra money. Are you ready? So simple. And then as far as the ones for customers go, when I initially talk to them, I don't tell them that it's free shipping. So when I follow up with them then about the coffee triple threat or whatever weight loss package I'm getting them set up on, I always recommend 3 to 4 products for them. So it's always over $100. So then when I follow up with them, I'll be like, hey, I'm so excited to help you reach your goals of losing 50 pounds or whatever their goal is. You always want to go back on what their goal is because it reminds them of why they were interested. So I'm so excited to help you lose the 50 pounds. I actually have a promotion going where you can also get free shipping. Are you ready? And I kind of just use that as a sense of urgency incentive to help them get started. So that's basically what I do. I really just try to keep it simple. And then sometimes if it's one of those, like you sent them the information on the products or the business and they didn't respond, then it's just asking them, does that all make sense? Or what questions do you have for me? Just those two.
I love that. So good. Just keep it simple, you guys. Just keep it simple. And like, Jocelyn said, like whatever system works for you, just do it. Be consistent with it. Write everything down so that you have it. So that you have it in your notebook. You have it where you can go back and look and follow up. So that's so good. Okay. So I have a couple leadership questions. So how do you, when those chats go quiet, or you have newbies that are just not really responding, or maybe a leg just isn't really like nobody's like, you post something in your chat and nobody's like really responding. What do you say to, or a diamond leg that, your diamond's like, okay, nobody's like answering me back. What do you say to your leaders or anybody who's Ruby and above, who has team underneath them and their team's just not really working? What's some advice that you have for them?
So people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so for me, like I know if my newbies are starting to get quiet, or if I have a diamond leader coming to me saying like, man, like they were on fire at the beginning of this month and it's just gone so slow, like they're not responding very much and whatever, like usually something's going on in their life and they maybe just haven't shared it with you. And so anytime you notice that, just go back and just say like, hey, Amanda, I noticed, you haven't been as consistent with posting and I haven't heard from you. Like, is everything okay? Is there anything I can do to help? How's your family doing? Just things like that. And usually it's something going on in their personal life that they just need somebody to talk to with. And then once they talk to you, then they realize like, okay, I can work my business through the life because I have somebody that's here supporting me. I think that's usually the biggest thing. And especially when it comes to new distributors, the reason why they're not doing stuff is most of the time because they're scared or they just don't know what to do. And so then, it's just having that kind of like funny moment where you're like, so are you having that moment of like, holy cow, I just started this, I have no idea what I'm doing, what did I get myself into moment? Or do you just not know what to do? Like, how can I help you? And just being totally like open and upfront with them. Another thing that I do that also really helps, especially with new distributors, is just letting them know, like, please don't feel like you're bugging me. Like, I promise you, you're not bugging me. My full-time job is to help you. I love saying that. But then also just reiterating, like, I don't know if you need help unless you let me know. So you're not bugging me. Like, I love answering questions and I love when you message me because that shows me that you're hungry and that you want this and that you want to be successful.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
But if I don't, I just assume they're good, right? But then if they're not posting, then I know it's something in their mind that's holding them back. So then that's when I reach out and say, hey, how are you doing? Like, what are you thinking? How can I help? because there's just something in there that's holding him back.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So just sending them just a friendly reminder, you guys, and just, getting to know them and letting them know like, hey, I'm here when you're ready to do this. Is there something I can help you with? Is there a post, because like Jocelyn said, like, typically either they're confused or they're scared, they're scared of what they just got in, or they're confused and they have no idea what's going on. And, Cammie always says a confused mind will always say no. So they're just not going to even message you. They're just not going to even respond. And so I love that so much. And I'll even ask them, because I always ask, like, what's the reason you're wanting to join? What's the reason you're wanting to make extra money? So I know that, them coming into this. So it's a great way to then be like, hey, Tiff, I know that you started this business so that you could, so that you're not struggling and you're not living paycheck to paycheck. I would love to help you make extra money with this. Is this something that you're still wanting to do? What can I do to help you more? So even bringing in like why they joined this business, to let them know that, you're there to help, and just remind them why they joined. So good. Okay, so let's see. I just have a couple more questions. What are some ways that you just lead your team? Because I know that you said that you go live a lot in your team page. What other ways are you leading your team, and what do you recommend your diamonds and above to lead their team? Because we all want to create empowering leaders, right? We want to lead our team, and we want to, we don't want to have to handhold our leaders. So what are some ways that you create empowering leaders on your team, just to, to help them lead their teams and you lead your team?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing with this is keeping the main thing the main thing. Ultimately, at the end of the day, our goal is to create other leaders that can lead their own teams, so that we have that duplication, to where if something did happen, we could step away and we could still keep our residual paycheck as high as it is, right? And so with that being said, keeping the main thing, how do you help your team focus on what's most important? How do you get them to continue to sign up customers and distributors if you're not holding their hand every step of the way? And what I have found, and I think it's really great, because as you start growing a team, the camaraderie gets bigger and more people are sharing and being inspired. But, just as an example, if you are wanting to lose weight, the best advice I can give you is to find people that inspire you with their weight loss journey, that you look at their results that they've had, and you think, okay, she's my same body type, or she was my same body type. She lost the same amount of weight that I want to lose, and she's had 2 kids. So if she can do it, I can do it. And you find a couple people like that, and you start following them, and you do what they do, and you'll get the results that they have. And so it's the same thing with this business, that with new distributors that we have, people on our team, if we know they want the results that we have, so we just have to simply show them how we do it. So to keep the main thing, as you are training your teams, focus on, okay, I just signed up a customer, this is how I did it. I just signed a distributor, this is how you do it. So if you feel like you're I don't know where to focus or what to do my trainings on, so how do you sign up customers? How do you sign up distributors? What are you doing right now to sign up customers? What's a post idea that you're doing? And just give them those gold nuggets. And as your team gets bigger and more people are sharing, hey, I just did this and I signed up some customers. I just did this and I got 3 potential distributors. That's going to inspire other people as they see other people getting the results. And that's going to create that duplication that you're looking for. And so anytime, I do have a leader that really wants to create that better leadership in their team, that's what I have them focus on. Okay, cool. You have your first distributor. You already have your 6 customers. So now you just need to show your distributor how you got those 6 customers. Because if you can show them how you did it, they can do it too.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, I love that so much. So good, you guys. I hope you guys are taking so many notes. These are so many good nuggets. Okay, so what is what's your favorite book that you would recommend to a newbie?
So I actually have 2 that I recommend. The first one I recommend, if you are new to this industry, if you've never done network marketing or really don't even have a clue what it is, or how you're here or whatever, that was me. Read the book Beach Money by Jordan Adler. That one will really show you what you have your hands on as far as what you can do with accomplishing in your business. And then the other one is if you get stuck on when people tell you no, and you really struggle with that and you just are like feeling like you're spinning your wheels, I would absolutely recommend that you listen to the book called Go for No. Can't remember who it's by, but you'll know which book it is. But those are probably my very two favorite for new distributors.
I love it. It's so funny because I just did a coach or a training for another team yesterday, and they asked me that, and I was like, "Oh, that's a good question. I'm gonna ask Jocelyn too." Those are the two books that I recommended. Go for No and Funny. So funny. Those are my favorite for newbies. Okay, and then what's your favorite book that you have read that you would recommend for for leadership or somebody more seasoned in the business?
Okay, so oh, my daughter has my phone. I can't look on my Audible. But the one that I've been listening to right now, like if you struggle with mindset, I absolutely recommend doing Bob Proctor's You Were Born Rich series on Audible. It comes with like a PDF, and it's literally like his events recorded, so you can like go through it. I haven't like done all the written down activities and stuff. My plan is to listen to it first all the way through and then start implementing stuff. But as I've been it's like a 10 something hour audio, and I have it sped up a little bit, so it's been like I've been listening to it for like a month because I've really been like diving into it. But it's been cool because a lot of the stuff that he's been sharing, Pam's been teaching us too in her live videos that she does, and she's been saying for years. So I'm like, holy cow, like if I would have just applied that a few years ago, where could I be? And so it's just been really fun. Like if you have ever been somebody that when they say like, oh, if your why is strong enough, then you'll succeed, and you're like, well, I have no idea, my why's never made me cry. For whatever reason, like I don't know what it was about this certain audio, but this You Were Born Rich series really helped me to like start actually seeing that vision of what I want my dream day life to look like that Pam always talks about. Like it just came to me the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is easy now, instead of it being so vague and hard to like think about what I wanted my future to look like. So just for that reason alone, and just the fun little stories he shares, I highly recommend it for mindset.
Awesome. I'm so excited. I never heard of it, so I'm going to go get it after this. Okay, so just to end this, is there something like that you would love just to share that's either on your heart, or maybe a last like tip or something that you feel that, I know a lot of people are right now, we just got volumes updated. So I know a lot of people are pushing for promotions. A lot of people are pushing to keep their promotions. And so what are some, maybe if you just have some last minute words that you feel is on your heart, that you would love to share that you feel it would, help everyone for end of the month?
Yeah, so I've got two things that I want to share. The first one is it's a decision, you guys. I will never forget, and I'm going to share like the actual volume numbers. I don't remember through the month, but I will just tell you the month before I promoted to Ambassador Diamond, I ended the month at $186,000 in volume. And to go Ambassador, you have to have a minimum of 250, right? So I was like, I have no idea how it's going to happen, but our team needs to come up with like $70,000. And so I just remember, like thinking that is so crazy. I have no idea how this is going to happen. But what ended up making the difference was I made the decision that I was going to make it happen no matter what. And so even when I had doubt creep in, which I absolutely did, like I will never forget, as I was promoting to Ambassador, one of my other really good friends, Sherry Lynn Alcala, she's the #2 income earner. She went Ambassador the month before I did, and her volumes was identical to mine. She was just a month ahead of me. And so I remember calling her, I think it was on the 26th or the 27th of the month, and I was like, Sherry, like I'm still so far away. I have no idea how this is going to happen. Like, I don't think I can do this. And she was like, Jocelyn, like you've already invested in this and it's already done. Like you've already decided at the beginning of the month that this is happening. So don't go back on your word. And she's like, just go get back to work and you're going to think of the things that you need to do to make it happen. And sure enough, we did. And so as you are working towards a promotion, whether you had volumes run and you're closer to your goal than you thought, or whether you're further away, you can still make it happen depending on your mindset right now with making the decision Am I doing it, or am I going to let this pass me by? Because the decision that you make makes the rest of the month or not. So decide right now, are you doing it or not? And once you decide, do all of the things and pray, and Heavenly Father will bless you with the victory. The other thing that I wanted to share is take quitting off the table. Keep this business mindset in the long haul. You know, I know sometimes we join for the extra $500 a month, or just a couple extra hundred before our unemployment runs out, or whatever's going on. I know for me, like, I just needed help to pay my college tuition. I had no idea that this amount of success was that I was capable of, and that was what my life was going to look like. But what I want to reiterate to you is the average time it takes to promote to ambassador can be 3 years, it could be 5 years, but you are always going to have to work. No matter what you do, you're always going to have bills to pay. So that means you're always going to have something to pay the bills. You're always going to have to work. So if you know that, why don't you just commit to not quitting with this? Because what if by working 20 to 30 minutes a couple times a day, you're able to, in 2 years, replace your full-time income? And then 3 years from then, you're averaging more than an ambassador. Isn't that worth it? Where else do you have the opportunity to do that from your phone, with your family, from home? Nowhere. And so I want you to know that if you commit now and just take quitting off the table and decide, I'm going to have to work, so I might as well do it here, because then in the next couple years, I will then still be making more than enough money to pay my bills, but I will also, sorry, I've got a crying baby, but I will then also be able to have that freedom of time to do what I want. And that's what you should remember, because there's just so much possibilities. And I'm just so excited for you guys that you decided to take the leap and just make the decision and just decide, I'm not going to quit, and I'm going to keep pushing until it happens.
Gosh, I love that so much, you guys. Isn't that so good? You know, Jocelyn, we are just so appreciative of you. I know that you have your hands full, and for you to be able to spend your night with us and just pour into, you know, this team, I just think, you know, we just love you for that. And, you know, I hope that you guys have just taken something away. I'm sure you guys have gotten so many good nuggets, but, you know, hold on to this and really maybe go back and watch the recording, because there's so much good information. We asked a variety of questions. And so go back. But the thing is, you guys, is you have to go apply it now, you know, but I love what you said. It's a decision, and then just taking quitting off the table. You know, those two things, you guys. And, you know, if Jocelyn is doing it, if she's all the way to the top of the company, she is being a mom and a wife and serving herself, you know, you guys can do this too. It's just like, you know, it's just preparing for it, making a decision for it, and just, you know, what do you truly want out of this? But I am just so excited, you know, for this team, and just, you know, thank you so much, Jocelyn, for just pouring into us. And we appreciate you so, so much. And, you know, thank you. All right, my friends. If you guys have any questions, you guys can just message me. But I will get this recording out, and I'll get it to Jocelyn. I'll get it to you too.